I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's something that used to go through my mind all the time. Like all the time, I used to hear about how the Sahabas all the time it was like Allah said in the Quran, Sami'na Wa Ata'na. We hear, we obey. So what is wrong with me? I used to ask that to myself. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with my society? Why am I feeling burdened by the religion of Islam? How come I'm not connected to the Quran? How come I'm not doing some of the rules or following the rules that Allah SWT told us to do? What is wrong? What is the problem? There's something that is going on with me, where I'm from, the society, and all that stuff. What is the root problem? What is the difference between us and the Sahabas? For them, it was they heard and they obeyed. So as I was listening to this course, Ben Sheikh in England, he's doing a course called Revelation Through the Lens of the Seerah. And before that, I started listening to him, and I love the way he talks about the roots of our problems, the symptoms of when somebody is far away from the deen, when somebody is not connected to the deen, when somebody is not following the deen the right way. So he explained it very easy, and everything made sense to me. So our problem is, and when I look at myself and I reflect, the root of my problem was because I didn't know who Allah SWT is. I did not, like, the love of Allah SWT was not rooted in me. It was not instilled in me. So that's why I was finding it difficult to follow the rules and regulations of Allah SWT. So the way he explained, like, how the Quran was revealed gradually, that's the difference. That's one of the difference between the Quran and the previous books. The Quran was revealed gradually. It took 23 years of revelation. But the previous books, they were revealed once to the nations that the Prophet knew. So as I was learning, I see the Quran was coming. So as I was learning and I reflected, because I learned about the seerah of the Prophet years back. It's been a while, long time ago. But if you learn to janga the seerah of the Prophet, di nga gis ne the revelation Quran bi ñu ko wàccee when he was at the age of 40, and then in his lifetime, it was 23 years of his lifetime during prophethood, still a Quran bi yëpp wàcca. So it didn't just come once. So ma janga si tamit ne the majority of the surahs were revealed in Makkah. And why was majority of the surahs revealed in Makkah? And what were the themes of the surahs that were revealed in Makkah? So di nga gis ne surahs that were revealed in Makkah were about Akida, gom suñ belief, Tawheed, the love of Allah, instilling the love of Allah. Because of time boobu noonu gars yi ñu ngi just dugga si diine bi. So nit su just duggee si diine bi wala mu sori diine bi, the first thing we have to work on is to instill the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Muslim identity. And one of the best ways, not one of the best ways, the best way for somebody to have the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, know who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, through his names and attributes. Yàlla noonu la ñu waxee moom mooy kan. Through his names and attributes, if you start on a journey learning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names and attributes, it will change your life, your lens in this life. It will be changed, because I've seen it. I can attest to that. si bu ma commencé di learn about the names and attributes of Allah SWT, everything changed for me. So if you coming from where I came from, where I was with my deen, that's a very good place to start. And there's a book I'll post at the end of the video that will definitely, it helps you. Amazon have it. It will help you. It explains the names, gives you examples and how to live by the names and where it was mentioned in the Quran and stuff. So it's really helpful. So going back to what I've learned in that course, the Prophet ﷺ didn't just come and say, do this, do that. No. He was working on people's hearts. He was working on changing people's mindset. Because nit su réeree wala mu nekk mu sori suñ borom danga looy jéem a def mooy nga pour nga xëcca ko mooy xamal ko kan mooy suñ borom, xamal ko suñ borom ne moom mooy the most merciful, daf ko mu ñeme suñ borom waaye not just comme yenn saa yi ni nga gis yenn scholars back in the day ustaas ni ngay def ragal safara like it makes people run away from the deen, or nit ki just ñëw si deen bi wala mu sori deen bi nga nekk di ko topp rek hey islam mu ne lii, islam mu ne Sami'na Wa Ata'na, you hear and you obey, you stop this. Like no, I used to wonder like why do I feel this way when somebody tell me this information? Why do I feel a discomfort? Why do I feel burdened? There's something that's lacking. Why am I running away from this information? Why am I not following? What is wrong? But all those stuff were symptoms. The root of my problem was not knowing who Allah SWT is. The root of my problem was I don't have that love of Allah SWT deep down in my heart. So not knowing somebody who koy ki nga jaamu dafa tax yu bari du yomba si yow. It's gonna be a burden. It's gonna be hectic. But if you know ki nga jaamu and you love ki nga jaamu, lum la santare dang ko def. So Yonent bi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam loolu la def ak saxaaba yi. Bu mu just nekkee bu révolution bi just ñëwee, there were so many idols around the Kaaba, but he used to pray. But waxut saxaaba yi ñu dem toj ko def ko after ñaata years of his prophethood, bu gaa yi demee ba win bu mu demee ba win seen heart, change seen mindset yi. Now then, that's when he came and said to destroy the idols. Te bu mu paree pour destroy the idols, they did it. ñoom seen boppa they were ready because time boobu xam nañ kan mooy yàlla, and they already have had the love of Allah SWT in their hearts. So when somebody is close, far away, let's go down deep in what's the root of the problem. Xool kii xolam bi lan moo si nekka, ndax xolam bi yàlla fees na si, ndax xolam bi xam na kan mooy yàlla, xam na kan mooy Yonent bi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Loolu dafa yombar mbir mi ba pare dafa tax mu mun a dem ba toolu fi nga xam ne yàlla dafa ne you hear and you obey, mu yomb ak yow. But if you don't get to that level, it's not going to be easy for you. So if you go and study the differences of the surahs, of the Makkan surahs and the Madani surahs, you will learn that vast majority of the Madani surahs are rules and regulations. Di nga gis ne yu bari si Madani surahs yi la wàcca. Hajj, obligatory for Hajj, dem aji Maka, Zakah, hijab ñaata years after si la wàcca. Prohibition of alcohol, yooyu yëpp mu ngi wàccee, all those rules ñu ngi nekk si Madina Surah. But if you go back also and see the Makkan surahs, di nga gis ne it concentrates on Akida, Tawhid, connecting to Allah, loving Allah, Jannah and Nar, the stories of the previous prophets. Because time boobu it was hard for the Juliti. It was not an easy thing. So having those stories, knowing that previous nations went through what they are going through, makes things easier for them. That's why it's very important. Stories, loolu yàlla moo ñu ko njëkk a jàngal, the power of telling stories, sharing your own stories, because you're not alone. Or li nga daj du yow rek a koo daj, li ñeneen is not something new. So loolu yëpp is effective. So when you give out advice, you have to prioritize what xoolal kan nga waxal, ki nga wax ne la moo nekk si xolam bi ndax kii dafa bëgg àdduna ndax àdduna bi moo fees si xolam bi wala xam na yàlla tuuti waaye des na wala am na interest si lii nii so nga commencé foofu ndànka because like I said at the beginning when people used to tell me this my Lina, I was interested in the deen, but I didn't want to get everything because there was a burden, there was something. So and I was giving too much information instead of giving me the love of Allah SWT. Instead of teaching me who Allah SWT is, they were giving me the more the harder ones that I felt that, oh my God, this is too much. I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can achieve this. So when we do that, you push people away, you tend to make them run away, and it shouldn't be that way. So I always had the thing that I wish I have this way of bringing people closer to Allah SWT, ndanka and te suñu Yonent bi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam noonu la def sax moom rek doy na exemple. So yal nañu yàlla delloo si indi ñu si moom mu nekk lu déggu si ñun, mu jàppale ñu yombalal yoon bi ba nga xam ne lépp lu ñu sant rek dina yomb ak ñun ñu def ko from our heart te du nekk ay burden. Assalaamu aleykum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuhu.